in the building.
The street executives. Georgia Muscle Box.
DJ. Technique.
What's happening, everybody? Of course, it's your host, Young Brink. You're tuning in to the #1 music and entertainment, and of course, is several trophies behind me. So what does that mean? Award-winning talk show in the Mid-South, none other than BrinkTV. Now, joining me on the BrinkTV show is a new face. I mean, hey, I'm trying to have it diverse. You know what I mean? I don't want to just have rappers on here every night, singers on here every night, big booty models on here every night. I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Tonight we got an author. I'm talking about Clarence Birdsong the third. How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man?
Hey, first and foremost, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
Most deaf. Now, we are here to talk about this book right here. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Let's talk about this. Go ahead and tell the people more about it, man.
Black Love Story, man. So where you want me to start?
Man, first of all, let's start with this cover, because this cover is deep.
Oh, man.
Of course, the people, they can see it on the screen right now, but this cover is very deep. So let's talk about it,
No
man.
doubt, man. This cover, man. So if you look at the cover, Brink, it's simple. It's very, very simplistic. And I think sometimes we override the simple stuff in life. So black and white, it, for me, symbolizes a journal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when I was homeless, living in my truck, when I was using my phone to write the book, my phone was my personal journal.
Right.
And so when I made the book, I wanted to keep it simplistic like that for the journal.
Gotcha.
Now, if you look at his back, the outline of his back is shaped in the form of a heart.
Okay.
The heart has scars and tears and cuts on it, right? And then if you look right above his shoulder where her eyeshadow is, that's what sets the book off. That's what sets it apart.
Right.
It looks blue, but if you take a closer look, it's got this greenish type of feel to it, and it's right over his shoulder, symbolizing that as a black man, you may have your heart torn out, cut open with your troubles and the trials of this world, and the world may actually be on your shoulder.
Right.
But you need your queen to help hold you up. So if you take another look, the eyes are not actually on the shoulder, they're right above it, because her love for him is holding him up and keeping the world, is making it that much lighter. So to the queens, we got to be his medicine, not his headache. That's one of the poems that's in the book. But just as she's holding him up, he's doing his part too and keeping that balance. You know what I mean? So very, very deep.
Man, that's deep, man. Like I said, man. And of course, this book is available right now. But let's kind of go ahead and get into what inspired the book.
Oh, man. When you go from making money into a situation to where you had to be homeless, so I started there. I was a maintenance supervisor at a company for a number of years. Always the first one there, last one to leave. I got into a wreck. The wreck kind of hindered my movement because that job dealing with HVAC is physically demanding. You might have to climb on the roof, carry your refrigerator on your back, something like that.
So you was very dedicated to the
job.
Very,
very dedicated. I was going to do whatever it takes to do whatever it took to get the job done. So when you got a job that's physically demanding like that, it wears on your back. So being that was what was injured on me, I couldn't work. I couldn't really work like that. So I took the vacation time off the job. The same vacation time they had been begging me to take.
Right.
Or I was gonna lose it. So I ended up taking that and missing a lot of days of work. And so when I came back, the day I came back, they set me down just like this, and they was like, "Hey, so we're gonna have to let you go." And you know, we need a supervisor that's gonna be here. At that moment, I'm looking like.
So let me get this straight. Very dedicated worker.
Man.
First one to get there, last one to leave.
Sometimes
work
you didn't
overtime
get paid.
Would do all of that.
Didn't even get paid for overtime sometimes.
Wow. So you do whatever's required, whatever. They don't even have to ask you. You already on top of it.
No doubt.
They give you the vacation, or they pressure you to take the vacation time.
To begin with.
Happen to get in a car accident, become injured, so you decide to take it just because it's the best thing to do until you recuperate. You come back to work.
And I wasn't 100% then.
So
I was really 40%, But as a man, when you got responsibilities, I'm like, hey, I gotta get back. I don't know how it's gonna work, but we gonna make it work somehow.
Right.
So I went 100% then, and when I found out what at will termination meant.
Wow.
I definitely found out what at will termination meant.
Wow.
And so from that point, man, it was like everything spiraled from that point, because now the money that I did have coming in, and then as a man, and that's what kind of triggered the book too, because as a man, you kind of got to look yourself in the mirror too, and say, this is what happened. But if I did what I was supposed to do as a man, then I would have had this X amount of dollars to carry me along the way.
Right.
So that talk with myself, being real with myself, helped me in that way too. So when you got money coming in fast like that, you don't really think about it, and because we as black people would never really taught.
That's true.
How to deal with money,
right?
You know, because there are rules to the game.
Yeah.
So when you lose all that, and so I'm in my truck, and I would park at Methodist South for 2 reasons.
I'm sorry.
Nobody really messes with you at the hospital.
That's true. You got people there in the lot all night.
Yeah, and the second thing is nobody gonna tow you in the hospital either, so I ain't have to worry about that. So I would go to sleep there, and then I had my CDL, so I go to the truck stop, take a shower, because I never wanted to look like what I was going through. That pride in me, like, nah, ain't nobody gonna know. And that's the thing. People say you always got people to go to when you're homeless. No, if you're a man, there's no way I can feel comfortable with going back home to mama, grandmama, or woman. That would kill me. That would break me. So as a man, I'm not comfortable with that. So it's gonna be me in the truck until I could do better. And so that lasted about 1.5 years. But every night, the only thing that kept bothering me was the amount of time I spent on that job, dedicating myself to it. And what kept coming up was, you can't get fired if you own the company.
That's true.
You cannot get fired if you own the company.
That's true.
So that sparked, like, all right, this is what it is. I ain't gonna work for nobody else, right? You know, when I get back to that point, I'm not gonna work for nobody else. At that point, I would have took a job anyway. You know what I mean? So, and so I used to come up with quotes like that: laying down, you can't sleep. And it's like, man, what am I gonna do? And I used to come up with quotes and all that stuff. And I've always had a skill to write. I just didn't. I've always wrote poetry. Always. But if it didn't involve me getting a girl, I wasn't gonna use it. You know what I mean? So it had to be me getting a girl. So it all came back to me, and I just started writing the stuff that I was going through with the system, with my kids, and child support or whatever. I just started writing and giving a perspective. For me, I felt like there's an imbalance in the game. You know, I feel like everything is catered toward the women, rightfully so, because they are the main consumers. Men don't really buy nothing. Men don't buy albums. Men don't really buy books. So everybody in the game, they cater it toward the women because that's their consumer base. I get it. I feel you. I ain't knocking nobody's hustle. But for me, I felt like somebody got to stand up for us, man.
That's true.
Somebody got to give a different perspective. But I didn't want it to be all about us either. I wanted to be about the women too, and I wanted to be about us as a whole, as a collective. And so that's what sparked it, man.
All right, so one question I do have for you, man, because it's a collection of poems as well as stories in this book. What would you say would be the biggest takeaway that a person will get from reading this book? Man, you can create what you want to create. You really can. This came from me going back to what sparked the book. It was a week before school started, right? I was able to get my kids what they needed for school. My daughter's birthday happens to be the week after. And I couldn't get my daughter what she wanted for her birthday. And so when I saw her, and I had to tell her that, and then I drove. I remember driving on down the street, man, and I broke down. I as a man, I cried. I said, okay, all right. And it's like God tapped me on the shoulder, like, all right, you got that out the way? Let's go to work. Let's go to work. And so from that moment on, everything that I ever felt about anybody, at that moment, when I looked at my daughter, nothing else mattered. Every inch of pain. So it's about, for me, how you let the pain use you. So I just chose to let my pain use me to motivate me to do better. Some people let that pain create more excuses for how they live and what they accept. I just chose to let that pain, like, I don't know if you got kids. You know what I mean? That's it.
I don't know if anybody else got like that, the look in that in that little girl's eyes when you can't, man, that broke me. Yeah. And so from that moment on, it created a monster. I knew there was no way I was gonna let that down. And I got sons, so I'm not saying that they're not important.
Right.
But when I look at them, I saw me, so I'm like, they gonna be good.
They gonna be good, yeah.
But her, it's a whole different ballgame.
I feel it. So let's talk about the book, man. Where could the people purchase it? Where would they be able to check it out?
It's on Amazon right now, $5.99 for the paperback, $3.99 for the ebook. I wanted to make it affordable. Right. You got to chase the dream. You can't chase the money. So for me, it's more important for me to get it in your hands than for me to take it out your pockets.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it's only $5.99, affordable for everybody. You know what I mean? So it's Amazon, $5.99 for the paperback, and $3.99 for the ebook.
Most definitely, most definitely. So, with the book releasing last month, like, what has the reception been like so far?
It's been great, man. People feeling it. People feeling it. They really loving the uncle stories. A lot of people, the women are loving the poems toward the front.
Right.
You go, girl. You're beautiful. Period.
Yeah.
So that you want me to read a poem out of it?
Hey, we just might have to, man.
So
just might have to.
This one is called You Go, Girl. Far too often society paints your picture as bitter, aggressive, angry, and loud. But forgive them, because you see, they don't truly know who you are and what you're about. They don't fully understand the weight that you carry. If they truly had to walk a mile in your shoes and were able to get a sneak peek of what you really go through, they back off because it's too scary. They don't understand the physical and sexual abuse you may have gone through that didn't break you. You let it use you as a breakthrough, and you're still standing. Family and everybody wrote you off because you're a teenage mother, barely completed high school, told you ain't never gonna be nothing, but you're still standing. That man left you after 4 kids and all those years invested. It didn't break you, and you're still standing. Struggling to raise kids by yourself, doing what you can to make sure your kids have something to eat, even if it means you starve. Watching people turn up their noses and judge you once you pull out the WIC and EBT cards. On the job, they look at your complexion and say it must have been affirmative action. But they don't know the hell you went through just to climb that corporate ladder. The sleepless nights, the thousands of dollars you still owe for those college classes. Now I get the picture. They confuse your passion as aggression. Your relentless no-quit attitude is anger. Your no-nonsense attitude is bitter. Because not every guy who calls himself a man can get with you. So bold, so beautiful, so strong. When you continuously win, Wimbledon after Wimbledon, gold medal after gold medal, one power position after another, seemingly shocking the world, I laugh to myself a little, because it's nothing new to me. Black girls been magic. And in my Martin voice, you go, girl.
And I'd like to dedicate to my girl, Judy, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you're very beautiful. Hey, you go, Judy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like I say, brand new on the BrinkTV show. Hey, we doing things differently. It's 2018, you know what I mean? It's all about love. Not just any kind of love, but a black love story. It's on Amazon right now. Go ahead and tell the people all of your social media before you get the next point.
Man, Clarence Birdsong the 3rd, Facebook, I Am Millionaire Birdsong, that's IG. So, a lot of people, like, the confusion about the title, like, a love story, like, it's not boy meets girl and girl meets boy and they live happily ever after. It's much deeper than that. You know what I mean? This love is black, like, it's us, you know what I mean? So, let me get to the next one.
And like I say, people, this book is definitely on Amazon right now. You can purchase it. I believe you said the paperback is $5.99.
$5.99.
And the ebook is $3.99. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it ain't gonna break your pockets and ain't gonna break the bank.
At all, man. This next one is gonna be called A Different Point of View.
Okay.
So pretty much, I wrote this poem while in court, actually, for child support.
Wow. Of all places.
I was in child support court, man, and I was thinking to myself, and I was like, man, and after I left, and once they hit me with what they hit me with,
right.
You know what I mean? I was like, I can't accept why guys are not there for their kids.
Right.
But I get a better picture, of the mentality. It's not right, but I get how they feel.
Right.
Because once they hit you with that money and then, your kids come to you, hey, daddy, can I? that thought does hit you, no matter who you are. Hey, you better go ask your mama with all that money. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm not gonna say it to my babies, but I'm in my head. I'm like, hey, as real as can be. Hey, you better go ask your mama. But you know, I give in to my babies every time. But I get the feeling, and so that's why I wrote this poem. It's called A Different Point of View. Some say the reason for not even seeing the kids is because she's bitter and she's making it harder. Some say child support is snatching all my funds, barely leaving me something to eat, so why even bother? So I slave and put in long hours at a job with good benefits and great pay. But I barely got enough money left to feed my face or a place to stay. Yeah, you can say you did the crime, so you gotta do the time. But how can I truly take care of a child of mine when I can barely survive? I can understand the guys who don't give a damn about their kids. But what about the father who's just trying to make sure his kid's life is more blessed than his? What about that man that's trying to be there every step of the way, but he's losing more of his heart with every garnishment of his pay? So is it that a man loses love or interest in his kids, becoming more regretful of his life decisions, more bitter? Or is it that that man who once wanted to be a good father is discouraged by the system, making the vision of seeing his kids less visible? Now, they see less of them and the cycle continues. When a man can't pay for his child, he goes to jail. When a woman can't pay, she receives welfare. How is that fair? That's no excuse for him nor any disrespect to the women, the single mothers out here who are struggling every day to make a way, but more of an eye-opener for what might have made him that way. Seemingly so cold, so heartless. And it's hard for him to take, man. You got to be a father regardless. So the weaker man leaves and uses the harsh realities as a way out. But salute to the father still pursuing a relationship with their kids while he's still trying to find a way out. He understands the impact he could have on his child's life, regardless of the feelings he has toward the mother, the ex-wife. In a society where it's not hard to see the man's manhood getting torn down, beaten, and destroyed continuously, you got books, every talk show host, every social media icon in the system, catering to and geared toward the women specifically tremendously. So I shared this word to offer no excuse, because a father should be a father despite what he's going through. And the kids never asked to be here. So of course you got to pay your dues. I simply stopped by just to offer you a different point of view.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep, especially the part about, you know, when a man can't, you know.
Oh man,
he gotta go to jail.
You gotta do some time. Your license gone.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Man, listen.
Well,
let me let you in a little bit. You know how many times my license been suspended?
I mean,
man, too many to count, man. And it's sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the system is geared toward, for what I think is, it was made and designed for the women to lean toward the government, and it's a modern day slavery for me to tell you, see, you don't need this black man, we got you. We got you. And so people don't see that, and so what they continuously do is put them in our business. Yeah. When man, you can just have a conversation. You get more out of me just by talking to me. Being a real sit down. Yeah. Than putting the system in the business, but it's modern day slavery.
But hey, the system don't know the situation. We do, so we need to be sitting down having a real grown-up talk. You know? Hey, I always tell people, you know, when you can't sit down and have a talk, you a man. You know, a man-to-man talk, you a man short.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing with women. If you can't sit down and have a grown-up talk, you're a grown-up short.
Man, you got to.
So give me that social media one more time, man.
Social media: Facebook, it's Clarence Birdsong III. IG is I Am Millionaire Birdsong.
Most definitely. Let's go ahead and go for this last question. I love to ask everybody, and I know you can really expound on it. Let's say it's an aspiring entrepreneur such as yourself out there watching this. They're thinking about giving up. What advice would you have for them?
Man, it's easy to say don't. You know what I mean? It's easy to say don't give up. What kept me motivated? Let me see how I can do this with protecting the names of the guilty and innocent. What kept me motivated is when I looked at the people I know that didn't support me. When I paid attention to the people I know that told me a while back I wasn't gonna be nothing, or who are waiting on me to fail. So I always look to those things, not to live off of them, not to live on them, but as fuel. Because you got to keep those things. That's the only way you're going to push through. Mama, daddy, brother, sister, cousin, family ain't gonna support you till somebody else they know supporting you.
That's true.
No, don't nobody support you until you pop.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So if they got a girlfriend at work and now they sharing your stuff, oh yeah, that's my nephew. Oh, now I'm nephew.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I go, man. And it's sad, but that's how I go. So I think about all those people who want to see me fail.
Yeah.
And so that's what keeps me going, keep me motivated. If you got kids, if you're not an island all to yourself, everything is connected. So your kid, every decision you make affects somebody else. And sometimes people you don't even know because you don't know who your gift can touch eventually with your platform. Right. Your gift touched me with this platform, giving me the ability to provide more for my kids to get my book out there. So you never know. You're not an island all to yourself. So keep going and keep dreaming, man. You gotta be obsessed with the dream. Like you literally have to wake up, and some nights you can't go to sleep. You can't. I heard somebody say if you live 8 hours a day, you ain't gonna be. I mean, if you sleep 8 hours a day, you're not gonna be successful. So you just gotta live. You gotta. I don't know how else to say it, man. You gotta be obsessed, completely obsessed with the dream and that focus that you have. You gotta be willing to sacrifice. You gotta be, you gotta be willing to miss out on the women. Yeah. You know, the clubbing, the friends. There's a lot of women that might be mad at me because I didn't have the time that was needed to be a boyfriend. Right. You know what I mean? Right. I'm like, hey, you shouldn't be, putting your I ain't never seen love pay a bill. Yeah. Whoever walked in MLG and say, what you got on this bill? I got love, baby. I got love, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't never paid no bill.
Cash me out.
Right. So you gotta find balance, of course, but you gotta stay focused. You gotta put that over anything else because that's the only way you take care of you. You gotta sacrifice. Even time with your kids. You gotta sacrifice. There's plenty of times my kids like, Daddy, can we? I'm like, hey, I gotta buckle down. I see y'all when I'm done.
As soon as I got it.
I got you. But you gotta sacrifice. Yeah. You gotta sacrifice and just remember those people who want to see you fail. Yeah. I guarantee you, if you really want to do something, you'll do it. Yeah. I just don't know how else to put it. If you really want to do something, you'll do it when you think about the people who are falsely supporting you because of somebody else and the people who want to see you fail. You know what I'm saying? So you'll do it. And just make that sacrifice with that time, that focus. You can't get 8 hours of sleep every night.
That's true.
There ain't no way.
Hey, couldn't have put it no better, but y'all make sure y'all go ahead and get this book right here. Like I say, it's available right now on Amazon. Make sure y'all get the paperback or the ebook and one of them. But hey, gotta say thanks again for coming on the show, brother.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
thank you for having me.
Now back to more Brink TV. What's happening, everybody? I'm Young Brink, host of the #1 music and entertainment talk show in Memphis and the Mid-South, Brink TV. And of course, these are my awards. But let me cut to the chase. I got a question for you guys. When was the last time that you were on television to promote your business or your music? You can't answer that, can you? Well, check this out. The Brink TV show, we interview artists, entrepreneurs, basically all forms of entertainment. So if you rap, sing, model, or you're a comedian, hey, we invite you to the Brink TV couch. Now, we also play music videos, so if your video ain't too ratchet and you got a clean song, we can play it for you. Business owners, we play TV commercials as well, so contact us. And be sure to check us out each and every Tuesday night, Comcast Channel 31 at 9:30 p.m. If you don't have Comcast, you're in luck. Just go to BrinkTVShow.com and check out the live stream.